So you just finished up watching the latest Blumhouse horror film, The Invisible Man. Ooh, creepy. But now you have a lot more questions than answers. Like, was Adrian actually the bad guy? What does the look from Cecilia at the end mean? And is there a deeper meaning to everything we saw here? Well, don't worry, because today we are going to break down all of the unanswered questions you have and try to explain it in the easiest way possible. Hello everyone, Jared here, and The Invisible Man has been a crowd favorite ever since 1933, before color was even invented, all the way to this new iteration of the character. But this new interpretation very much kind of takes things in a different direction, almost blindsides you, and there's certain things that you absolutely do not see coming. Like the ending of the movie, did it actually end that way, or is there an interpretation to really look at? Well, don't worry, because today we're going to be diving into the end of this movie, all of the details and the symbolism and sort of metaphors running throughout this movie. So sit back, relax, and enjoy as we explain this latest remake of The Invisible Man. Oh no, no, not again. No, 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 no! So it is safe to say if you're watching this video, then you watched The Invisible Man. If not, here's a quick refresher.
The Invisible Man opens on a huge fancy pants mansion where we are introduced to our main character, Cecilia. Sorry about that. Anyways, she is apparently trying to escape this luxurious lifestyle for some reason. Oh, that's right, her boyfriend is an abusive psychopath. I mean, just look at this dude. Crazy! Cecilia makes a run for it, but unfortunately Zeus, their dog, sets off the car alarm, causing Cecilia to make a mad dash through the nearby woods. Home free Emily, her sister, picks her up, and she is finally safe. Jesus Christ, Emily! Ah, step on it! 2 weeks pass as Cecilia has been hiding out at James's place, a childhood friend, terrified that Adrian is after her. However, later that day, she is informed from her sister that Adrian has killed himself, which is then followed by a letter stating that Cecilia was named in Adrian's will. Adrian's brother, Tom, reveals that Cecilia was bequeathed, $5 million, but she needs to remain sane, not commit any crimes, blah blah blah, you already know. But Cecilia is hesitant that this is all a setup, but Tom points out that Adrian's box of ashes over there on the table would say otherwise. As the next few weeks play out, Cecilia continues to see and hear odd things that cannot be explained, which could be reality or a slow spiral into madness. We'll go with the first option, as she finds Adrian's phone in the attic of James's house, containing pictures of her sleeping. A creeper! Along with the keys to the house, a missing kitchen knife, and her missing designs. Absolutely terrified and being thrown around by a seemingly invisible man, she heads back to Adrian's mansion, suspecting his death was a hoax, only to make a shocking reveal with the technology Adrian has created. Rushed to tell her sister, Adrian murders Emily right there in the restaurant, blaming it on Cecilia, giving her a one-way ticket to the loony bin.
Okay, now that we're all caught up, let's get into the closing portions of this film, where there's certain reveals that very much give us closure, and kind of where our main character, Cecilia, ends up at the end of this movie. Okay, we're in the later portions of the film, and at this time, it has been revealed by Tom, Adrian's brother, that yes, Adrian is still alive. No, that's not really a big reveal of the film. Adrian is still alive, and all of the madness will stop if Cecilia agrees to return home and have their baby with him. Oh yes, spoiler, Adrian got Cecilia pregnant sometime beforehand because he knew she was taking birth control and switched it out. The normal, controlling, crazy boyfriend type of thing. She refuses the offer, unlike that famous scene from The Godfather, where he's like, hey, I'll make him an offer he can't refuse. Well, Cecilia does refuse and tries killing herself later that night, only to be stopped by whomever the Invisible Man is. This leads the two on a cat and mouse chase through the mental facility outside and eventually back to James's house. But throughout this bloodbath of busted kneecaps, I mean, this cop is not going to have a great day tomorrow. Cecilia is able to stab this invisible specter, only to reveal this person isn't invisible at all, but rather wearing a suit covered in cameras. That's right. If you remember from the beginning of the film, Adrian is supposed to be a lead researcher in the field of optics, which would of course mean this weirdo was able to create a suit that could essentially camouflage him wherever he went. Also, Cecilia discovered one of the suits earlier in the film, so whoop-de-doo. But yeah, not a supernatural afterlife being at all, but rather a suited up ex-boyfriend. Smash cut to James's house, where James and Sydney are being terrorized by this invisible person. James is being beaten to death. Luckily though, Cecilia arrives at the right time, sprays the fire extinguisher to reveal this quote-unquote invisible man, and fires multiple shots into him, slowing him down, causing the cameras to malfunction, and killing whomever this person is. Finally, the assumed Adrian is dead, and Cecilia... Why does that song keep playing? She goes to unmask this invisible man like Scoob and the gang, only to reveal not Adrian, but Tom. Whoa, Tom was the killer the whole time. He was the mastermind behind the sleep creep and everything else. Sure, he wanted the money to himself, but he also mentioned Adrian was actually alive. How can this be? Well, the next scene essentially reveals it when a SWAT team members raid Adrian's home, only to find him somehow locked away in the basement. After some short questioning, like an unrealistically short amount of questioning, Adrian is left to go, blaming everything on his twin brother, Tom. Whoa, hold up. Wikipedia has it listed that they're brothers, but twin brothers? I mean, they don't even look alike. Yeah, I know that twins don't have to be identical, but is it specified in the movie? Now, before we get into the ending of this film, we can put together some sort of main meaning or metaphor for what is going on in The Invisible Man. What Lee Winnell and crew had crafted for the overarching theme looming over The Invisible Man. Sure, it is a somewhat grounded science fiction horror film, but when we dive deeper into everything, The Invisible Man designation can be used for more than its literal meaning. Instead, this is a man who is rich and powerful and brilliant, but also has a dark side, being accused of domestic assault and sexual abuse via Cecilia, but also more than likely murdering people close to Cecilia, for example, her sister Emily. But since he is all of these positive things, they cover up all of the bad attributes, essentially making him untouchable, making him, in a way, invisible to the law and people around him. A prime example is when he is rescued in his basement and barely questioned by the police. Sure, the Invisible Man title ties back to the literal act of being invisible, but it's also the latter, essentially gaslighting Cecilia even after his alleged death, still having control over her and the people around her, causing them to question her sanity and her alleged stories while she questions it all herself. And even if Cecilia is able to escape the grasps of such a man, she will always be looking over her shoulder, scared of what is around the next corner, because the resources Adrian has, which are the source of his unlimited power. I got nothing there. Editing mistake? Getting back into the final scenes of the film, Cecilia is at the police station with James, her insisting Adrian had been behind all of this, still making her look crazy, while James states he has a dead man in his living room who has to say otherwise. Again, tying back to that theme of Adrian always looking like the good guy and gaslighting Cecilia, having the ones around her question every move she makes. Seriously, guys, you gotta stop with the music. Instead, Cecilia knows what she needs to do. She accepts a dinner invitation to Adrian's place. The conversation between the two is calculated, almost awkward, as it is revealed Cecilia is trying to get Adrian to admit to everything because she is bugged with a mic and James is standing outside, standing by. Adrian starts by stating, "If I was invisible, I could just watch you in your room." Nope, that did not happen at all. Back on track, the conversation continues until Adrian states he wants her to be with him and the baby because life will be full of surprises. Surprises. This one word triggers something. If we remember back to the attic where Cecilia found Adrian's phone, one single worded text was sent to the phone. Surprise. Almost shocked by this, Cecilia excuses herself to the restroom. While waiting though, Adrian is sitting at the table, only to all of a sudden slit his own throat while almost looking like he is holding something back. The urge to continue. Why did Adrian just kill himself? Cecilia comes back from the restroom, witnesses the aftermath, panics, and calls the police. In the last moments, Cecilia strategically places herself out of security camera footage and lets Adrian know she was the one that killed him.
Yo, Adrian! I did it!
But how? Who? What? Why? What is happening? Cecilia had used the second optic suit that she had stored away from earlier in the film, if we remember, and used it herself to get the revenge she so desperately sought after. Walking out of the home, James catches her, confused because he thought that they were going to get Adrian to confess and send him to jail, but how did this happen? James then notices the suit in her purse and the two exchange a look. Even until the very end, people were second-guessing Cecilia and her sanity, and the death of Adrian was the only way she could truly be free, tying back to that overarching theme mentioned earlier. The ominous, drawn-out look of Cecilia at the end is finally her realizing her long, sought-after freedom. The end. However, there is yet another way to interpret the ending of The Invisible Man. Again, it follows our main character, but rather the real-life person portraying her, Elisabeth Moss. As we know, The Invisible Man focuses on a woman trying to escape her dark past, only to make a new future for herself. See, The Invisible Man is just a movie, but rather this is a cry for help regarding Elisabeth Moss in the real world. She is trying to escape her past, and no matter what she does, the amount of power and money, she is unable to wriggle free. The Invisible Man is a literal interpretation of Elisabeth Moss trying to escape, follow me here, the Church of Scientology. Think about it, all of the breadcrumbs and similarities are there. A woman on the run, her friends not believing her, a dark past, unlimited resources to stop her. Tom Cruise? I don't know how Tom Cruise ties in aside from the fact that he's a Scientologist, but it is all there. The Invisible Man is a metaphor for the former members trying to escape the religious and scientific grasps of Scientology. Or it's just a sci-fi horror film with an abusive rich guy creeping on his ex-girlfriend and her friends, forcing her into having his baby because, you know, he can't stand her leaving him. I mean, either or. So that is it, a science fiction touch or sci-fi update to this horror classic. What did you guys think of this ending? Did you think that it was pretty straightforward, where there's this woman, Cecilia, getting away from her abusive, dark past into a new life? Or did you kind of lean or see the hints, breadcrumbs of that Scientology ending? I want to know in the comments down below. Anyways though, as always, thank you so much for watching. Watch some more videos up there or right over there, you know, brand new ending explains, kind of weekly, every other week nowadays. I think that the horror films are kind of gonna ramp down a bit, so I'm gonna try to find some other films or older films to do these ending explained pour these for. I very much enjoy doing these movies. If you like these, watch more over there, and until next time, we'll see you later.